Hello and welcome to this video tutorial from Computergaga.com, and in this video we are going to look at how to insert page breaks using VBA. Now, I was sent this question via email where somebody needed to insert a lot of page breaks, so they wanted to streamline that process, which ideally means VBA, really means a macro. So the spreadsheet looks something like this. This was its kind of rough layout. I've just removed any confidential information and I've minimalized it quite a lot. It was a lot larger than this and a lot more information than this. But this was its basic structure. We had a tax invoice, and then there was this list of information. There was another taxed invoice list, another tax invoice, and it wanted each tax invoice to go onto a different page. They wanted a page break before each of them, and we didn't know how many there were or how many items in a list. All we knew is that there were a lot of them, and we wanted to do it with the click of a button. We don't want somebody manually inserting potentially 100 page breaks, depending on how many invoices there are. In this example right now, there is only 4. Here's member number 4 as I've given them, and that's all there is for this simple example. Now, I've written some of the VBA already. Let's go and have a look at what we've got, and we're going to add in the line for the page break. But just to remind ourselves, this is what we have. We have this tax invoice is our prompt to put a page break in each time. Now, the first thing I wanted to do actually is I wanted to zoom in here and just put a formula somewhere. So I was just going to put this over in I1 here, I think. Just going to quickly write a COUNTIF function. And I want this just to count column A for the word tax invoice. And I'm doing that just to find out how many there are. So I know there's 4, but if I'm looking to automate this process, I can get a formula to do that. I could get the VBA to do this as well. There are multiple options. But in this instance, cell I1, we have how many invoices there are. And that's going to be important, so we know how many page breaks there are. So that has now been done. Cell I1 to repeat. Let's go to the Developer tab and Visual Basic, and this is what I have at the moment. So I've created a few variables, one to indicate how many tax invoices there are, another one to track a row number, another one to track the number of page breaks. Now, we're immediately assigning how many invoices there are to this variable. Now, I wanted to change that to I1 because I've just changed that cell from what I had when I originally wrote this. And I'm setting these 2 variables to 2. So I want to avoid the first tax invoice. There's no point of putting a page break before that. That's always in row 1. Let's assume we know it's always in row 1. Let's ignore that. That's not relevant. So let's start from number 2, at which point page break count might as well start from 2 as well. If I've got 4 invoices, I need 3 breaks, for example. We then set up a do loop to do this until the number of page breaks, the I variable is counting the number of page breaks, is less than or equal to the total amount of invoices there are. We then perform a test. If the value of the cell, so I'm moving down column A here, remember the tax invoices are written in column A. It's a big merged cell there. So although it doesn't appear like it, that is in A. If I click on it, A1, tax invoice. Let's jump back to the editor. So it's looking down A for the value. Does it match tax invoice? In which case, put a page break in and increase the number of page breaks we've got. I plus 1. Put another 1 on there. And we're also then increasing the row so it can loop through the list, looking for the words tax invoice, and every time it sees one, put a page break in. So that's the line of code that's missing. And because I've got a variable counting the rows I'm going through, I'm looking to use the rows object here. Now we can put page breaks in with the range object, we can use the columns object. This is not the only way, but I'm using the rows object here. I'm using my variable called r as well, and then I'm going to put page break equals Excel page break manual. I'm putting in a manual page break at that point. And that code is as simple as that. To repeat, you can put page breaks not just with the rows object, you can use the ever popular range object as well, and you can use columns and an active cell and any other object that you might be using to loop through a list of values or moving between some cells on a sheet. This is not the only way, but this gets the job done here and answers the kind of question that I was tasked with. So with that in there, if I close down this editor, and here we have it at the moment, there's no page breaks in. If I pop to the view tab maybe, and I hit the macros button through here, I don't have a button to run it at the moment. There's my insert page breaks macro, that's what I called it. Let's click on run, and that will go and do its job and put in those page breaks. So now when you scroll through, I can see there's a page break, there's a solid line just above tax invoice, and then there's another one, and there's another one. We could have got our VBA procedure to perform other tasks as well, such as fitting all the columns onto one page, or changing the paper size of the print, or anything else that may be necessary. Even automate the print to PDF maybe. We could have added more. But the answer to the question here was to insert these page breaks. That was the solution to it. And this is the video demonstrating how to do such things to see if anyone else would benefit from it. I hope you do find this video useful. Please check out some of our other video tutorials on our YouTube channel and come check us out at Computergaga.com.